Today, let's talk about something really powerful, a mindset called the Yes, I Can mentality. It comes from the work of an author and entrepreneur named Tran, and it's this incredible way of thinking that helps you find a win in literally every single thing that happens, good or bad. So let me just start with a big question for you. What if every single time you failed at something, you were actually winning? I know, it sounds kind of backward, but that's the big idea we're going to unpack here. It's all about completely changing how you think about trying and, well, failing. So, where did an idea this powerful even come from? Well, you might be surprised. It wasn't dreamed up in some fancy boardroom or a university lab. Nope. It was actually forged in the face of some pretty incredible personal struggle, which honestly makes it feel that much more real. I mean, listen to this. Tran's journey began with just immense hardship. This quote, it really sets the stage for a life that was all about overcoming the odds, a life where the only path forward was to just believe that things could get better. His family, they eventually sold everything they had to come to the United States, and they arrived, as he puts it, empty-handed but filled with hope. You know, that hope, that relentless optimism when they had absolutely nothing certain, that was the very first lesson in this whole yes, I can mentality. And believe me, the challenges did not stop there. Well, a lot of his classmates were picking up English in a year, maybe two. It took Tran six long years. Can you imagine 6 years of feeling like you're the slowest one in the room? But he didn't give up. He kept on trying. And here's the payoff for that unbelievable persistence. Even though he wasn't some straight-A student, that refusal to quit is what carried him through engineering school and all the way to becoming a top engineer at a massive company. He was standing out among thousands of others. Just incredible. So what is this yes, I can mentality? Really? Well, it's not about being fearless or perfect. Not at all. It's more like a daily practice. It's the simple, conscious choice you make to just say, you know what? Today, I will try. And to see every single challenge not as a roadblock, but as a real opportunity to grow. And look, this mindset isn't just for, overcoming these huge, monumental obstacles. It's actually a universal framework. It's something that applies to every single stage of our lives, from the moment we're born to our later years. The interesting thing is how we practice yes, I can kind of evolves as we get older. When you're a little kid, it's all about curiosity. Then, as a teenager, it becomes about building resilience. And later in life, it shifts again, this time towards mastering your skills and giving back. Let's look at a couple of quick examples. Okay, just picture a toddler learning to walk. They fall down over and over and over again. But do they see it as a failure? No way. Each fall is just, part of the process. They are driven by this relentless curiosity, and every single time they pull themselves back up, they are practicing, yes, I can. Every attempt is a win for just being persistent. All right, now let's jump ahead to the teenage years. Imagine trying out for the basketball team and you get cut. Oof. You didn't get what you wanted, right? But with this mindset, it's actually still a win. It's a win because you had the courage to even try, because you learned something from the feedback, and because you started to build that all-important skill of resilience. Okay, so this brings us to the really practical part. How do you actually find the win when you just feel like you've failed? Well, it all comes down to something called the 4 wins framework. And here's where it gets real, right? What happens when you pour your heart and soul into something and it just doesn't pan out? I mean, let's be honest, it stings. It can be super frustrating. How in the world can that be a win? Well, this framework suggests you might just be looking for the wrong kind of victory. So here it is. This framework says that every attempt, no matter what the outcome is, gives you at least one of these 4 wins. You might get a personal win, like a new skill, or a life win, which is a lesson you can use later. Maybe a happiness win, because you actually enjoyed the process. Or a mental state win, where you build up your resilience. When you look at it this way, true failure is basically impossible. Okay, let's go back to that basketball tryout for a second. The outcome you wanted was simple: make the team. But what were the yes, I can wins? Well, you gained new skills while you were practicing, you learned something valuable from the coach's feedback, and you built up the mental toughness to handle rejection. Those are real, tangible victories. So, how can we make this actually work for us? The real magic of this whole idea happens when we stop just, understanding it, and we start actually applying it to our own lives, our own challenges. So here's how you can put this into practice, starting right now. First, start reframing your challenges. See them as chances to grow. Second, celebrate the effort you put in, not just the final score. Third, really, truly embrace that failure is a necessary part of getting anywhere. And finally, after any attempt, big or small, just take a second to ask yourself, what were my wins here? Which of the four did I get? You see, in the end, this isn't just some strategy for getting ahead. It's a whole philosophy for living. And as Tran says, when you adopt this spirit, it doesn't just make you more successful, it makes the entire journey of life feel richer and way more beautiful. And so I'm going to leave you with this question. Think about something you've been avoiding, maybe something you've been putting off because you're scared of how it'll turn out. What is one challenge, big or small, that you will decide to face with a yes, I can spirit today?